What's up, guys? Welcome to All Gains Mindset. We talk about diet, fitness, dating, health, and mindset. We're going to go over law number 11 of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Let's go. Law number 11 is learn to keep people dependent on you. So, to maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, and you have nothing to fear. Never teach them enough so that they can do without you. This law basically symbolizing you want to have people desire your presence, right? You want to have people learn to be dependent on you. And so what this means is this is something like you provide a value to certain people, and they know that they need you around because they want you for either emotional support or physical support, or there's something about you that they need in their life and it could be very, very beneficial to you, because if they need you, that means you can sort of use it to your advantage and you could have them help you in certain areas of your life. Of course, you can make the argument that this could be used for evil purposes, but we like to be very optimistic on this channel, and we like to think that people will take this kind of information and use it to their advantage, not others' disadvantages.
Exactly. And so here's a little history upon someone who had used this law, well, probably without even realizing it. And it was back in the 1840s, 1850s, and around in Prussia. This guy Bismarck, you've probably heard in history, he was in the politics, and he wanted to become allies with someone to gain some power. But he didn't want to find it within, the liberals or the conservatives of Prussia. He wanted to actually become an ally with the king, which is something that probably you shouldn't do, if you're just new to this type of thing. And anyway, so he goes and does that, right? And the king is starting to actually lose a lot of his power through the people. The people don't trust him anymore, all this other stuff. But Bismarck stands up for him and does all these things, and the king sees this, and the king appreciates this. And so the king appreciates this so much that he actually has Bismarck become a minister. And so now the king has given him power, has given him some sort of power, right? And so Bismarck is telling the king to build an army to stand up to the liberals that are in the country that are trying to attack the king. And so he does that, and the kingdom starts to come back and starts to gain some more power, right? But then what ends up happening is the king ends up dying, and so his brother takes over. The brother doesn't really like Bismarck as much, but he realizes that he is a good asset within the country, because he's also having the same issues that the previous king was also having, his brother. And so he keeps him around, and he actually makes him prime minister of Prussia. So now he's even gaining even more power, and so he's needed more, right? He's more dependent on now. And through the years, the prime minister was able to gather the rest of the country of Germany, pretty much what would become Germany, to become together as one full country. Now you got to remember how Prussia was set up. It was like everything was all messed up and all over the place because it was Ottoman Empire, a lot of stuff. But they all came together because of Bismarck and the king, and it became into an empire. And so now Bismarck became the emperor's right-hand man. And so now pretty much it's best to be in this situation. It's best to be the one behind the ruler, because you're the one who's actually ruling. And that's pretty much what happened here with Bismarck. He used this because he was so dependent upon by the king and then the emperor that he ended up just getting exactly what he wanted. And he got the power that he wanted. He got all the things that he needed, and he was able to do whatever he needed to do, and the king and the emperor still did what they did, and they were perfectly fine. Sometimes you specifically might not be able to do that. You're not going to be able to, become friends with the president and and just get power that way. That's not really going to happen ever. Maybe not even on a local level. But using this on a in a business perspective or on a work perspective, you could probably end up doing this to your best advantage.
Yep, and we use this in a way without realizing it, because what I like to do is I like to be a beacon of light, of positivity. So when we're around our friends and family, we exhibit these positive attributes, positive behaviors and stuff. So in a way, it makes them, want to be around us more, right? And kind of depends on us for that emotional feel, because we're just always very uplifting and happy, and we're not depressed, and we're not, jerking off to porn all the time. We're not very upset, depressed people isolating in our rooms because of a dumb virus. But we are sort of a positive influence on those around us, and because of that, people flock to us, right? That's how we're easily able to make friends, and you could easily make a better life by having a positive influence on those around you. Another way you could do that is be providing a service to others that makes them depend on you. Like, let's say you really want to lose weight and get better and like build muscle, so you hire a personal trainer. That personal trainer provides this value for you, and you pay them in return, and you depend on them if you really like them, and eventually you keep wanting their attention more and more. And if you really like connect with your personal trainer, you could really learn a lot, and you could evolve from there. So like certain stuff like that, if you could provide a service that people want, crave, that's why like sex sells, food sells, all those kind of businesses, people depend on them, and that's power. That's why McDonald's is a billionaire company, and we're not right now, but we will be, is because they provide this emotional, dopamine level of fast food that hits you, and we learn to depend on these fast food restaurants and all this stuff for
that dopamine spike.
For that dopamine spike, and we want that pleasure, that immediate pleasure, and because of that, these companies are rich and taking your money, and you need to stop spending your money on these dumb companies and invest your money in good food sources companies, good food source companies. But that's another rant for another time. So that's law number 11. So if you guys like this kind of content in the video, make sure you hit the like button, and hit the subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell for more content, and we will see you in the next video.